The mystery at the Roosevelt Orange Line stop begins like any other.
Just like a typical Chicagoan riding a train.
But unlike the 600,000 commuters who cycle around our L tracks day in and day out,
This is like 3 months before his passing.
Clark Pryor never made it on the train.
And here is the time right after the service of Clark. And was there a problem more that we didn't know about?
How does a CTA rider wind up underneath a CTA car?
Was it something we could have did? Is it something that we missed out?
Jeremiah Pryor was told his brother took a life-ending leap, suicide.
I didn't believe it.
Investigators didn't seem so sure either. Clark's final police report says he appears to jump or fall from the platform. It took us several months, but we managed to get some footage from police. CTA refused to give it to us. 2 cameras show the incident from far away. Another shows only Clark's feet.
A key angle I saw from a source shows Clark stumbling around the platform for at least 5 minutes before he careens off of it. Another surveillance image taken from downstairs by the ticket booths shows Clark swiped in 47 minutes before the incident. Could this have been prevented?
There's no closure,
The way Clark died is still murky, but...
And the crazy thing is that it's still happening.
The other crazy thing is we can't tell you how many times.
We requested all incidents of person on the tracks from CTA, police, and OEMC. The 3 departments sent us back different logs with different numbers.
CTA stats show someone lands on the tracks more than once every 2 days. Intentional fall or push, the transit agency's records from 2017 and 2018 show almost a 5% increase in track trespassing. How are customers getting down there almost 600 times in the past 2 years? And could that number be even higher? Clark's case isn't even listed on the CTA log.
You have to really understand what your problems are.
Rail safety expert Dr. P.S. Sriraj believes CTA needs to step up how employees document when things go wrong.
As CTA, how can you sit down and try to study what you can do to fix the problem if you don't even have an accurate reflection of what the problem is?
Well, that goes back to the resource issue.
Resource issue? CTA constantly trumpets its 32,000 cameras. But it turns out station attendants don't have access to that surveillance system. They can't see a live feed of what's going on at the platform, like when Clark was stumbling around for several minutes.
That's a big investment.
The CTA's Brian Steele tells me while it is moving forward with a plan to install monitors showing real-time video inside those ticket booths, customer service assistants aren't supposed to be in there all the time.
And the system that we have in place currently is one that's been used successfully for decades now. Again, the idea is to have the customer service assistants moving throughout the station so they can identify an issue wherever a customer may have a question.
But there still are people falling off the platform intentionally or accidentally by more than 100 a year. So I'm just struggling to understand why you wouldn't have somebody keeping watch at all times.
Well, I think it's important to keep that number that you're referencing in context.
What he's saying is the amount of riders who fall pales in comparison to the amount of riders with no issues. That's true, but it's not moving the needle on our safety record. We analyzed stats reported to the Federal Transit Administration. Of the 5 rail systems with the most ridership, Chicago ranks #1 for highest rate of collision between trains and people. That's for 2016, 2017, and 2018. 2019 is following the same trend. A woman was killed as she tried to retrieve her phone at the 69th Street Red Line in June. And only a few days earlier, someone walking backwards to read the train schedule fell off the platform at 35th and Archer. Police say she laid there for 4 minutes, then a train ran her over.
You mentioned thermal imaging on the tracks could help too.
Yes.
Dr. Sriraj says technology already exists to alert train operators if something or someone is on the tracks ahead. There are also ways to warn riders about the incoming L. The metro system in Washington, D.C. uses platform lighting.
When the train arrives, this starts flashing.
At O'Hare International Airport, platform screen doors only open when the terminal train arrives. They encase the whole station, so no one can fall by accident or on purpose.
The cost of the infrastructure investment is astronomical.
Steele said most of those solutions are too expensive. Instead, CTA is working on a revamp of platform safety awareness ads like these. They were deployed in 2013.
The statistics that I'm looking up do show an increase. So again, how can you be sure that your educational campaign is working, and what else can you do?
Well, I think we know that it's working because we still see dialogue via our customer feedback channels that people have seen the ads and understand the ads.
An ad wouldn't have saved Clark.
That's why it gets hard sometimes.
The Pryors argue more watchful CTA workers might have stopped him, or at least the train.
We're not here for it's not a money thing for us.
In the Pryors' wrongful death lawsuit against CTA, an admission from the general manager of safety, quote, CTA is made aware of unauthorized persons on the tracks several times a day.
What's your message to CTA?
My message is that something has to be done.
How many more families might consider suing? The potential for tragedy can add up quick.
So I've worked on this story for months, and I've learned a lot about our transit system, including which stops seem to experience the most falls or jumps. And you can see an interactive maps of the highest stops for track trespassing on CBSChicago.com. Live in the newsroom, I'm Lauren Victory, CBS 2 News. Brad and Erica.
All right, thank you for that, Lauren.